States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody, for coming to the meeting tonight. We do appreciate it. We got the agenda in front of us. Take a motion to approve it.
So be it.
I got a motion on the floor.
Second.
I have a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right. Approval of the minutes of January 21st, 2025, our regular meeting. Everybody had a chance to read them besides me. Angie shut my email off. Do we have
Make a
any
motion to
objections?
approve the minutes.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion passes. Clerk treasurer.
Payroll vouchers, $19,949.91.
Everybody had a minute to take a look at them. Do we have any questions for her?
I'll make a motion to approve the payroll vouchers for $19,949.91.
We have a motion on the floor.
Second.
We have a second. Rob.
Thanks.
We'll do a roll call. Greg?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Andy?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion passes.
AP vouchers in the amount of $45,660.22.
I make a motion to approve AP vouchers for $45,660.22.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none. Greg?
Aye.
Aye.
Andy?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion passes. Do you have any other wonderful stuff to talk to us about?
Yes, just want to, in March is the annual Institute and Academy training for clerk treasurers. Same with training I went to last year, trying to earn my CNC credit. It's just more continuing education credits. I'd like to attend it again this year. The brochure as well as the estimated cost for my hotel are included in your packets.
Shut that off.
My full registration would be $450 for the registration and the hotel. I'm not sure why they made us book Saturday. I'm trying to get Saturday off. But it's $1,017.75 for the hotel stay.
How much is it again?
$1,017.75. I'd be gone Sunday through Thursday.
Food and everything else, how much are you looking that you need?
Last year I only spent $60 on food for the whole week. I brought my own.
You could probably splurge a little bit and get something nice every once in a while.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
They provide lunches,
Oh.
not usually enough, so.
Well, I'm looking for a motion, probably up to, what, 1,700 or so?
I'll make a
Maybe
motion
18.
to approve up to $1,800 for her to go to the class in March.
I would second that.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any questions, concerns, thoughts, ideas for, or for this? Roll call, Greg?
Aye.
Aye.
Andy?
Aye.
Brian? I'm an aye as well. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Is there anything else? Are you sure?
Oh, I got
Okay.
one thing.
Oh.
Is that, you make sure that covers your gas and everything?
I only get paid, we don't get paid gas, we get paid by mileage.
Oh, okay.
So that would
So-
include my
So,
mileage.
okay, I was just gonna see, we get your gas paid for, that's a big deal.
NDOT, Amstead Cedar Creek Trail updates.
So Cedar Creek Trail, working through the punch list. We've reached out to the contractor a couple of times. I'm sure they've got other things going on, but we'll start pressing on a little bit more frequently here in the next week or so that they're prepared to get out there when the weather breaks and get that stuff cleaned up.
Yeah, as long as we stay in contact with them.
Yeah.
Cool.
Amstutz Road still, most, with the exception of Central Ministries.
Yeah,
which
we
we'll
might
talk
as well
about.
just hop on that real quick.
Yeah. So that's, not much has changed on Amstutz Road other than that one item.
Do we, Tyler,
So, the plan is tomorrow morning, they've already cut the road today. Tomorrow morning, they'll shut down the road, dig that up. We did find the line yesterday, did a test. We've confirmed where the line goes. We know that it was cut and terminated during construction of the roadway. So it's just a matter of getting it back in there and getting it put back together. And then the final phase of that is funding to pay for said air. I have, and I think we've made it clear from the office that this wasn't our air. We didn't approve to have it cut. So it's gonna be a matter of figuring out how this gets paid for going forward. And I know ERI is in the process of investigating that. So I don't know where those dollars are gonna land. I don't know how much it's gonna cost. I don't know any of that information. I would expect greater than 10, probably, or right at 10.
Yeah, so I got an email from Fox at noon, and they shared a budget amount of $30,944.30. I know the church has had some expenses to add to that.
so Fox gave that estimate of that cost? They were the ones out there doing the work?
Yep, they're not doing the work.
Okay. Well, let's get it fixed. Once it's fixed, let's sort it out, I guess.
The only question I would have is that in line with the quantities and, is that in line with the pricing of the project, or is that because it's T&M and they're allowed to bid outside that project across?
Yeah, so, if this got it,
Yep, I'm just,
you haven't had a chance to think it through, and it's a good question.
Great.
Those are all things that we would look at, probably, first thing tomorrow morning.
okay.
And I'll share this with you just so you can.
Yep, yeah, I don't think I saw that, but
It just came straight to me.
yeah, that's fine. So, yeah, there is gonna be a cost associated with it, obviously. I mean, I know Fox has 2 or 3 days out there already looking at it. So it's just gonna be a matter of, obviously, it needs to be repaired. We don't
We
an
have to
option.
fix it?
It
Let's
has to
sort
be
the
fixed,
money out
yeah.
later.
So,
So was it not marked, or how did it get hit?
I'll give you the abbreviated version. The storm sewer is deeper than the sanitary laterals. So when the storm sewer was constructed, the sanitary lateral was encountered and it got cut. Fox, as required of them by the specifications, NDOT specifications, went to utility provider to discuss how to handle the sewer lateral. It was shared to Fox that the sewer lateral was abandoned, and so they abandoned it and they kept going and they backfilled.
Who told them that?
The utility.
Utility, okay.
Yeah,
The cap.
Sewer?
and they capped it.
Whoops.
So time passed, this was like in the month of October. It didn't reveal itself that that was indeed an active line for a few months later. Once it was discovered, then a considerable amount of time was spent finding the lateral. It ended up being in a different place than what everybody had anticipated. And it led to the location of the line that was abandoned. So, yeah, that's how that all transpired.
Yeah, I
Abbreviated
think,
version.
let's get it fixed.
Yeah.
And if we can't agree, maybe get everybody in a room, let's talk it out, figure it out.
yeah, like I said, first step is getting it fixed. We tried to have a meeting yesterday afternoon. The testing and locating procedure went way longer, I think, than any of us anticipated it going. So that meeting obviously got pushed because the most important thing is stop the church from having to back weekly, 2 times a week. to stay functioning. So,
So the plan is, they'll be out there tomorrow to, install the new sewer line. And you said they cut the street today?
the street did get cut today. So they cut it this morning, we spent time between 8 and 9. So it's all cut, ready to be removed, so.
Fantastic.
The only thing that didn't get done is probably the backing for the clean out that we were gonna put in farther into the yard there.
Yep.
So I'm assuming that while they're digging, I mean, that isn't necessarily a huge deal, as long as they can get hooked back up, we can at least run that out there
Right.
at a, later date if we have to, as long as they clear the sidewalk area.
Perfect.
So, yes, it is cut, it's ready to go as soon as they can get out there in the morning.
Okay.
And the barricades were all dropped off today too,
Good.
so we're in good shape there.
Awesome.
So there is a reach alert going out tomorrow at 6:45 in the morning, just an update that says, hey, it's gonna be closed, be careful. So, if you come through there, plan on losing an alternate route.
Anything else for us?
Just so you guys know, I'm sure you guys driven it, we had a conversation, I believe today, about the bridge deck down here on Amstutz and the failure that we're seeing down here. James and Derek are looking at what the plan is and if we need to go any further than that. So it has, actually funny after I talked to you guys, I've had 3 phone calls today about that particular bridge and the failure on it. So they are gonna temporarily patch it while they have cold patch here, but we need to look at, to make sure that we fix it right once we get one off, so.
James, you're all set. Thanks for jumping on.
Yep. Anytime. Have a good evening.
So, that's all I have for that.
All right. Before we move on to new business, we have our newest full-time employee, Mr. Brian Kahn, sitting here. He's jumping right in with old Derek. He out there, I'm sure, Derek won't be out there in the morning, but, Thank you for being here. CCMG bid. I know you got those today. Looking
Yes.
at 'em.
So, had a bid opening day, we had 2 different contractors, Milestone and Mallet. What'd you do? So, where's it? Thank you.
Thank you.
We have the paper document, breaks in there.
Yeah.
Now, let Derek talk to it.
So, we had, two bids. Engineer's estimate for the project was $490,649.98. Low bid was Mallet Contracting at $456,085.20. As Tyler mentioned, we opened those bids today. We went through their bid packages. We found one, what we call an irregularity, something they accidentally put the wrong bid form in the bid package, which they swapped out after the fact. We did have a chance to talk with, to interact with Tim and David, and they felt under the circumstances that wouldn't necessarily be a reason to kick out their bid package. So with that, the cover page just kind of gives a summary. If you look up into the second paragraph toward the bottom, 75% of the cost is going to be covered through the grant, 25% will be through Leo-Cedarville. So the state's going to cover roughly $342,000, and the town's responsibility is roughly $114,000. So with that, we would recommend awarding the work to Mallet Contracting for $456,085.20. I can answer any questions for that.
If you have any questions or discussion, anything at all for Ridgecrest?
And what do we budget for this, Angela? Do you remember exactly or not?
120,000.
right at the, basically the contractor estimate we budgeted.
You see any contingency things that's gonna take us over, her estimate of 120,000?
The risk seems to be pretty low because we're removing and replacing what's
Yeah.
there. We're not getting,
Yeah,
the only place we're going down is at the inlet locations where it's caved in.
Mhm.
So just in those immediate areas, so that the risk really should be pretty low of having unforeseen conditions that are encountered.
good. You don't know who's gonna be out there yet, do you, as far as for you people?
We can have a conversation about who you'd like to see out there, but probably Byron.
I just wanna make sure that, you know, the problems we had the last time down in Markham Court, that we don't have
Are
that
not
problem
repeated.
again.
Yeah.
Remember with the pooling?
Yep. They poured the continuous curb.
Right.
line. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Check your grade
Yeah.
stakes.
Just,
Yeah.
you know, we will, you know, just bring up past problems so we don't have them again.
Yep.
That type of thing. No big deal. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek.
Consider awarding that.
I think that's what I was just gonna say. I mean, we're gonna need a motion to award this, obviously.
I'd like to make a motion that we award the Ridgecrest Drive project to Malott Contracting not to exceed $456,085.20, which $114,021.30 would be Leo-Cedarville's cost.
Got a motion on the floor.
I'll second it.
Do we have any further discussion on this? Anybody? All right, I'll take a roll call. Greg?
Aye.
Yep.
Aye. Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion passes. We don't have any other major projects this year, do we?
Hope not.
I hope not, too.
Just enough,
That's why I'm asking.
just the bridge.
Well, but that's not ours, although we will feel the heat from it.
Yeah.
All right, priority one alarm system, we got a repair quote?
Yeah, so before you use a quote from priority one, pull it up here. So I talked to Ray over there at priority one. In the project of the barn, there was no care taken to protect the wiring for the heat detectors in the middle of the barn. So they were basically destroyed, and by skinning the inside of the barn, the communication getting out, it is getting out, it's just extremely weak, so we need to add a high gain antenna. The quote before you is $1,190. I did have a conversation with Ray, Brian and I did the other day, looking at quoting other facilities here to move to one, hopefully to move to one contractor or one security system. He said during that meeting that the cheapest option is to rewire it, and he would give us the wire to do that if Brian on a rainy day would have the time to run that wire. We already own those other detectors, they're already there. Literally, it's just gotta link them all back up. You gotta do it well. We would have a rental for the scissor lift and that kind of stuff. So we're probably looking at $500 to do it that way, maybe $600, which would be, but we still have to do the, in his opinion, the best way to go is the external high gain antenna, the antenna cable. But again, if we run the cable, that drops that cost, and he's willing to work with us on it. So this would be the absolute high end, and then it'd be a matter of us deciding which way we want to go. So,
Did we put internet over there?
huh?
Do we have internet over there?
Not yet. So we're using his cell antenna to communicate all the data out for the security system. We do have the option to do that. There is a modem that we could put over there possibly through our Verizon wireless provider. We just didn't go that way yet. And I don't necessarily want to add another cost until the need reaches that point. Right now, we're paying for just this cell service. At some point, I think we need to head that way, but I just don't know that we're there yet. But when we do that, we're gonna have to make sure we put an exterior, that we buy an exterior antenna for that. So,
I guess my wondering is if we did that now and run it through the internet versus this through
Right.
a satellite, would that be something we're gonna want in the future? Let's just bite the bullet now instead of do this and then do that later. And I don't know any of these answers.
no,
I'm just trying to think, if we're going internet over there, put it in and maybe save some money on this, because I believe the modems are free, it's just, you have to do a
monthly
yeah.
cost. So, I would want to talk to Ray, because I know that there's some rules when it comes to, and we're not since we're not an occupied building over there, we're not fire code compliant 100%. So, this is more or less that these heat detectors will trip if we have an issue in the barn. It's not to, alert, we're not an occupied space, so it doesn't have the horn strobes. So that puts us underneath something different, that we might be able to just do the internet and get away with it. Obviously, we've been functioning this long without it, because the barn got done in October, and we're just figuring out some of this stuff. So, again, we're just looking for a way to bring our function back to what we had. I honestly think, and Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, if we get through this first quarter with him being on, we get some, hopefully get another or a full-time maintenance guy assistant with him. There might be some room in that schedule to do it, but until we go a year, I don't want to say 100% exists. So. All things to consider. We don't have to move on this tonight. Like I said, it's been,
I'm just trying to think, for the future.
yeah, I don't.
Save money to do the right.
So if we do
And
that,
I don't know the answer, I told you.
I would want to make sure that whatever we quote is big enough. I would like to add security cameras over there at some point.
And I've heard you say that. That's
So
what I'm
whatever we're gonna do, we need to make sure that we add enough bandwidth to be able to transport data to the cloud to back to us here. I don't want to have to do like we're doing down at the park right now, where if we have an issue, we gotta drive down there and log in and surf through the video footage.
Do you think that's sooner versus later?
I hadn't considered going over there with a camera, only because there wasn't internet, and it's not, to him, I think he said we need at least 10 megabytes per second, probably 20 to be safe, and I don't know what these speeds are. I'd have to get a hold of Verizon rep and have him come out and talk to us.
Well, do we want to move on security cameras and something yet this year, or you think?
I would like to move, at least updating here and Cedarville Park this year, for sure, in particular here, because our camera shots, while they protect us, they're probably not ideal for protecting interior stuff real well. So we can get them coming in, but after that, they can have free range. So this project is the one I'm chasing right now, because it already is wired, in the same way with the Cedarville Park. It's already wired, so it's a matter of switching things out. We had an internet provider that said that they would give us internet at Cedarville Park to be used by the public. They would manage it, and as part of that, we could get internet into the building. And so I need to follow up on that. I need to chase that down. But that's the reason I was trying to get these two compatible at least.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So
That's important.
But yes, I would love, to be honest, I would love to have internet at the barn, a camera or two in the barn or on the barn outside, and then eventually I'd love to see something at Riverside Gardens, because we have the splash pad there, and that's a huge liability that we have nothing watching.
We've got some vandalism there before
Yes,
too, so.
fair amount.
Yep.
underneath the bridge.
Yeah. So the problem is the farther we get away from a hub, the more expensive your camera is. I had a quote and it was like $40,000 to cover basically the entire park over there. But it becomes very expensive to get shots of like the bridge. My concern is literally right at the playground when you have the musical equipment that gets snapped off, and we have some guy took a cell phone shot of it for us, the license plate that you couldn't read. So we need to get that protected at some point too. So, I mean, it's all important, it's just in what order you could do it and how fast can you get it done. And I don't wanna add a lot of extra cost.
No.
That wasn't 100%. We have budget, but it wasn't 100% in the budget. So it'll be a matter of working the numbers and figuring out where we can go with these, or maybe we only do one, I don't know.
Yeah, but, well, I guess let's start with this. So you're looking for a motion to approve this, I'm assuming?
Brian, do you think that we hold on this? I just wanted to put it in front of you guys tonight to know that we have an issue over there. Do you think you'll have time in the next few months to run a wire, or?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if nothing else, we can get it tacked up and get it working, functioning again, and then we can pretty it up later if we wanted to.
Realistically, a good solid day is a done deal.
Yeah. So,
So you're just talking about the one cable running?
yes,
one-
yep,
okay.
yep.
Yeah, it just needs to run across.
We will need, and he didn't break it out, I wish he would have, but we will need the external high gain antenna and antenna cable out of this. If you wanna say that this number would be the max number we're willing to pay and let us figure it out, whether we run the wire or go this route, then I think that's the best way to go at this
I
point.
agree. If we're gonna do it, you prove
Yeah.
up to this and let you two handle it.
Yeah, if this is the best route to go, we go this route. If it's not, then we go the other route. We know it won't cost more than this.
All right, I'm looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve up to $1,190 for the priority one quote at the maintenance barn.
I'd second that.
We got a motion and a second. I know we just had discussion, but is there any more concerns? Craig? Negative.
All right.
Aye.
Oh, we're voting? Oh, I didn't know. I thought you were asking me if I had any concerns.
Oh, that's good.
No,
Aye, all right. Sorry, Craig.
my bad.
I'm an aye as well, the motion passes. Resolution for Planning Commission appointees.
So last month we decided who was gonna be on. This is just officially does it. So you'll see where I've added Brian and Angela, and then the remainder of the appointees in the actual resolution. Greg Peck stays on, and you got Jerry and Blaine, both their terms expire in 2028. I did have, just so you guys know, I had a conversation today with a gentleman that's very interested in coming on the plan commission and would fit the requirements at this point to step on, and has had service in other areas in the public sector. So I asked him if he continues his interest to stop by, because there's a form that I have to fill out to send down to voter registration to confirm his history on voting, so.
And this was the one we had a question about parties?
Yes.
It had to be a certain party. Okay,
Yes, yep. So, just so you guys know, Tim Richards, his term ended in January, and I did not ask to get him reappointed because somebody was going to step off to move forward. His term ended. I talked to him. He's good with it. He's like, yep, everything comes to an end. So now I will tell you that if it opens back up, he would be interested again in serving in some capacity, but he understands where we're at right now. So again, this just finalizes the appointment. The other two appointments will be via executive order because they're appointed by the president.
Any questions, concerned about the resolution 2025-02? Look for a motion to approve it.
Motion to approve that amendment.
We have our motion to approve resolution 2025-02. It's all right.
Yep.
I'll second it.
We have a second. I know we've discussed it. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Justin Kuhn is in front of us again. We all knew this would be coming. How are you, Justin?
I'm good, how are you guys?
Good, good.
Good. So, I want to come tonight and see if you guys would be interested or consider rezoning the property to the north of Donaldson Avenue to Wilderness Creek. My partner, J.R. Parent, bought the property, as you guys know, he's my partner. He was involved in McCarry's Place as a subdivision. He bought the property there, just for the next development opportunity. He has no interest in putting any other retirement community there. We're trying to find a need for the community that fits Leo. I talked with Tyler. Since we've owned this property, we've had multiple calls from people to sell little chunks of it to build buildings for storage units for, I don't know the correct term, I'm calling it big boy toy storage. Like up around the lakes where there's barns, so people that live in these housing developments have a place to put their boat or their camper or their extra car. So yesterday I talked with Tyler, and one of his concerns was, what's the big picture? We don't want to approve a certain amount of duplexes or townhomes or whatever the correct name is for them without knowing what the next parcel may be. So him and I talked, and I thought the big boy storage units would be a nice product to put on a property right behind Donaldson Avenue, and then move the, I'm calling it a pocket community. I keep going back to Piper Trail. Has anybody heard of the community Piper Trail that Lutheran Life Village has built? It's super cute, it's super cool. Yeah, so that's it. I spend a lot of time traveling around the country in my other business I own, and I always keep an eye out for real estate. And I was recently down in Olentangy, down by Columbus, and I came across the development, and I thought it looked nice. The thing that I don't like about the duplex style is all the garage doors are in the front, and then the community just becomes a garage door looking community. And then the people go in, they shut their garage door, and nobody socializes. So I like the Piper Trail look like that because you actually have a front porch and a window, and you got living on the front. So I would like to try to take where I have marked on the paper residential and build a Piper Trail community where there are rear load garages, and it encourages active living with sidewalks and stuff out front where people can actually talk to each other. And I feel it's not just a need for elderly, but I think our society is changing with the younger generation people. Right there it is.
It's on,
It's
right there.
Oh, I didn't see it up there.
I think our society is changing with the younger generation also, who are nurses or computer people, and they don't want big houses, and they don't want big yards, and they come home from work and they stick to themselves. And so before I spend a bunch of engineering money and stuff, I talked with Tyler, and before we crossed the road of bringing again, spending money, is this something the town would even consider as a reason? Just myself looking at the zoning, I think the residential side closest to Wilderness Creek would be zoned R5 to make the duplex styles. And the big boy storage area, if that's the correct term, I think it's like C2. So that's why I'm here. I'm currently doing a development in Hicksville, Ohio, and I say the word we, and I mean that at Hicksville, and I mean it here in Leo. We're all on the same team. I'm not here to pull anything over anybody's eyes. I know you guys want to build a nice community. I get it. That's why I'm here. And so if we can work together and come with some terms of, I say stipulations and stuff. I know one of the concerns on the duplex style houses or the Piper Creek houses is we don't want them to turn into rentals. And I spoke that I feel what we should do is write it in the deed of the property. That it's basically a homeowner association. No homes inside that association can be rented. And I had a property in Florida that was like that. I couldn't rent inside that community. So a way to protect the town of Leo, of worried of these coming rentals, is we write it in the deed and the ordinance that if it's, you can't rent inside the community. So.
Would that include short-term rentals as well, like Airbnb or?
I would say yes, I would say, yeah.
So the thought process is obviously the long game is if we go this route and Justin, this is a development that we feel that we need in this town and is justifiable. The long route is obviously the rezoning process takes time and money and development, and ultimately it comes back here to this council. And this council, if everybody else has all this time invested in it and the council says absolutely not, we don't even want to entertain this process, then it makes no sense for the planning commission to waste weeks and months in the zoning administrator waits and hours to put this all together. So the process tonight isn't that, yes, we want to rezone this. The process is, yes, we'll entertain a development like this. And if we can come to an agreement on what the deed requirements are, or what the best process, which is, I would probably lean on Tim and Derek, some on this. You know, maybe it's not to rezone the property, maybe it's, if we can do it through variances or something like that, maybe that's a better option. I don't know what all the answers are yet, but it doesn't matter if we get to the end and it's not something that we think is feasible or wise within the town. So that's why he's here tonight. We're not looking for a, yep, we're gonna do this project. It is for you guys to give a nod to, hey, we're open to this project. Let's develop it further and see how we can land on it.
I guess, I'm not against anything, obviously, but how can we figure out what our needs are? I believe we need some more homes. I agree, storage is a problem. I think bigger, that 55 and older homes is a bigger need, my opinion, nothing more. But how can we find out
So
what
coming out
our
of
community wants?
So coming out of the Envision plan, obviously that's next Tuesday is when that's fully opened up. But in reality, there is a need and a want for townhome, community style living, this kind of style of living in this town. And without having the plan in front of me, I guess I should have looked it up before I got here because I do have access to that data. But there is a need, there is a desire to have that style of living here. And really what it comes down to is you have investors that have, you know, homes that are 2,500 square feet. They don't need a home for that's 2,500 square feet anymore, right? But they don't want to leave Leo. And they want to be connected to their family. So they're staying in a 2,500 square foot home for two of them when they really need something like this, you know, 1,100 square feet or something. Or
I envision something like this, a wonderful idea for 55 and older.
Right.
And I know you don't want to put probably limits on it because, you know, taking this many people want to buy, you want this many. I don't blame you, but I think that if we had something like this for the 55 and older, I think it'd fill up in no time.
I do, I 100%, I think it'd be full really quick.
Because of the thing you just said.
Right.
We have a ton of people in this community sitting on big homes and
Right.
they don't want to leave, and for them to move to downgrade, it's not cost effective.
Right.
To go with a 1,500 square foot home.
Right. And I don't know what number of square foot this is. Do you know by any chance?
It's at 1,200 to 1,500 square feet.
Yeah, so-
I'd
There's
give
the
it
floor
9 to
plans and
12.
stuff.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
You know,
Especially if you're doing 55 and older.
I'm sorry. Do you know how many units you could get in the R5?
Out there, I heard they had 12 acres and they got 50 units. The parcel closest to Wilderness Creek is 16 acres, but obviously you're not gonna be able to build a full 16 acres. So I would estimate 50 to 60 of them probably. I had a plan, my engineer drawn up that Bluestone is the name of it. It's off of 469 at Wheelock Road, you might see it there. And I told him, don't spend a lot of money, just take a plan and drop it on here so I can see how many. He had 96, and that's too many. And like I told Tyler, when I first came to this council with the Macarius place, I came with 43 lots. And then we went to 40, and then we went to 38. And no developer does that. No developer cuts lots, that's money. So my point of that, of telling you that is, I want to build a product that fits the lot the best. 96 can fit on it, it's not gonna be 96, it might be 73, but I don't wanna go spend money and have them start, you know, laying it all out if it's not interested. I wanna do what fits the property best, I wanna do a product that fits the town best, that we feel we can sell, I don't wanna get stuck with something obviously, and I want to take it nice, so.
So would Piper Trail be your ultimate, like if you could develop something similar, this would be where you're heading to?
I think that's absolutely gorgeous. Derek might be able to answer this.
There's also one over DuPont. It's not quite the same.
It's not as.
No,
About
it's
a
not.
mile.
But it started out, because I was watching it
No.
get built, and when it was first done, it looked nice. But then it's renters and
I like the, and I've said this before, I really like the cottages in Malargo look, with the shake and the cottage feel. As you see, I like the dormers on them, I think they make them look cottagey and cute, I don't know, I say cute.
Now,
They look nice.
is this something that you're gonna build then sell, or you wanna sell lots?
I was thinking of building them. I was thinking of selling them out and building, like, my vision was go in and build 8 or 10 and sell them, and as those sell, go build another 8 or 10 and sell them, and, you know, to end up with 70 homes, it might take 10 years.
No,
You're not gonna
I like
take-
that actually
yeah.
better, because as soon as you put these restrictions like this, and that lot gets sold, they'll do what they want.
Gotcha.
They'll build, you know, some big monstrosity straight up or something, and, you know, in other words, you gotta put a lot of restrictions on it.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know what's allowed, and you might know better than I do, what's allowed within the deed. Like if he was gonna sell one out and somebody wanted to build their own, can
He
you
can
deed
write
the
in
square
the-
footages
Yeah,
and all that?
yes, he can.
Okay.
But people are very creative,
I know,
and they find a way around every rule.
yeah.
I like to do it myself.
My plan would be build, is do like I said, 8 or 10.
Because
and sell,
I-
sell, keep.
And I know you still don't like it, but I like this for 55 and older. It's my only, it's just opinion,
Yeah,
nothing more.
right.
I think that would be huge in this area.
I go back, I have a nephew who, he's a computer guy, he makes good money, makes a decent living, and that age seems to be different than when we grew up. I mean, he comes home from work, he goes in his house, he gets on his computer, he don't wanna mow his yard, you don't even see him, and I think something like this would be similar, that's why I don't wanna cut out the younger.
I know, but I think that'll deter from other as well that I feel that we need in our community. Again, just in my opinion.
That's why I'm here.
That's why we're, just going.
Like we talked before this, stuff, when it opens up in the Cedars, it doesn't even hit the market most times, does it?
No,
It's gone, and that's 55 and older over there. I like this idea, I really do, and I'm kind of with Scott too on it.
The garages are in the back, so that's where, and we
So,
dare.
I think we need to think it through a little bit. I wonder if we can find a way to, like, have an area of 55 and older, and maybe not.
Well,
I think the 55
Brian,
and
what
older
were you-
want to stay together.
What were you saying, Brian?
I like the idea what Scott was saying, 55 and older. I'm not really sold on the storage part of it though,
Okay.
to be honest with you, but the cottage stuff you're talking about, I'm kind of excited for it.
Yeah, I agree with Brian.
Okay.
The big boy, in theory, I think, I would need to get more
Whatever you
input
guys
from the
say, I'm not
community
gonna-
and, not sold on it either.
Okay.
But I love the R5, the hyper trail type.
Gotcha.
I mean, even if you put that in both sections.
Right. I thought the same, and again, I'm not upset if you say the big boy storage doesn't fit there, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
The thought was when you start packing 70 or 80 homes each, then you're pulling out a lot of cars on Ames's Road. Which in this packet, I have talked with Brian Seckler from the Highway Department, and he's approved the drive to going out, they have a 500-foot distance. So I was just trying to make a happy medium, not
Yeah.
turn it into a lot of, too much more traffic.
That's fine.
I do feel there's a need for the storage barns, and if this isn't it, I can live with it.
Yeah.
Well,
Might not be the
Where
right
do we
place,
find
might be, yeah.
So would you, how would, the storage barns, they're done multiple ways. You rent them, some up in a lot and up in the Angola area. They do the community, each person has their little lot, like, 2 or 3 foot around it. Oh, what was you thinking? Rent,
My
sell?
vision was you could sell them or you could rent them. I think it'd be cool to have a clubhouse in the middle. I think there's probably a lot of guys that just want to get out of the house and they want to go to their shop and work on a car, but they really want to get to the hub and go have coffee in the morning and bull crap. And I envision similar buildings to the ones that are in the packet that look nice, and maybe one guy's got a full barn, or maybe you divide it and put 3 doors, and one guy just wants a 20 by 30 space to put his RV, and then you put a clubhouse in the middle, and then you got basically a couple sets of bathrooms, and you don't have to put bathrooms in every building. You only got them in one, and then it's kind of the meetings place, and just to hang out. So
Yeah, I just wonder.
that was my thought.
I think it's a great idea myself, but I just don't know. Maybe,
Yeah.
if there's it or not, or, you know, what does that look like? It's hard for me to see that.
I'm the same, I do know that there is a need for the storage, because I do get calls from people. Hey, do you wanna sell an acre or two, we wanna put up a barn. So I think it would be good, obviously, as development keeps growing around here in the houses, if people don't have places to put them. And again, if this isn't the right spot, it's not. And as you guys know, finding ground in Leo is very hard. So-
It all depends, I guess, really the look. I mean,
And I think when we talked about it, we talked about some of giving it, I know that, I mean, we talked about maybe doing some brick on the front of them.
I would say brick on the front, and like you said, I liked your idea is, you know, you're gonna have two up by the road, basically you have a road that goes in, and you're gonna have two. Well, those need to be cool, those need to have brick the whole length of them, they need to have, in my opinion, those arching lights that shine down, and they look nice, and then, you know, those are the main ones that people see from the road, and then you keep that look, but they don't have to be as fancy on the side, because nobody's gonna see the side, they're gonna be so close. Obviously, that site, there's gonna be a lot of dirt moving, as you guys know, I put some big mounds on a precarious place, and give it some shelter, and I envision you do the same out there and kind of block it in, so when you go by, all you see is pine trees in the entrance, and basically you just barely see the tops of the roof.
how many acres is on that?
I believe that's 18, and Wilderness Creek site's 16.
For the storage unit, is there a way that you can make it just for private use? Because I could see there's a lot of construction in this area. And if you are, I think one of your biggest clientele is going to be construction companies wanting to put equipment in there. So if you're marketing to private individuals who have toys or whatnot, that might be something to look into, because your
Yeah,
phone's
I
probably
think-
going to be ringing from construction companies.
Right, I don't want construction companies in there, but my point, to answer your question, is we can write anything in the covenants we want.
It's a very good point, because, I mean, something like that, even if they wanted to buy or rent, who cares? Everything's gotta be
So,
inside.
something I
Because
didn't
the hell is
consider,
junk and crap. That's
maybe it
great
would be an
point.
option, just throwing it out there, does it make sense to do the Piper Trail across the front halves of those? And then at the back half, or have a second entrance if we can't, I don't know what that looks like, to do the big boy, at the back.
Behind on that, I
Yeah.
was thinking that too.
And I don't know what that looks like, right? I
The
mean,
problem that I see is, you know,
Nobody
when the
wants to
city
know.
owns that
Yeah.
property, you can't cross it, same thing around
Right.
a precarious place, so. In the ideal world, you put a drive and you connect both parcels, well, formerly the city is not gonna let you cross that, so now you've got two parcels, so.
Right.
I don't think you wanna put housing in the front and have people with big RVs driving in the
Right.
back. So you really got two properties, unless you guys can get formerly city to give us a drive across.
Well, as you think about, I mean, we're just brainstorming, I
Yeah.
think,
Right,
right?
yeah, I mean, we're just shooting ideas out there, I mean, I think we've established that we
Maybe,
like the ideas.
maybe here, the 55 and older, and then maybe you could kind of parcel off, put the same over here for just whatever age.
Yeah.
And then, you know, have it treat off or something, and come back for the big boy storage in the back. That way it won't be road front, and put some
Well-
strict rules on it. I'm just thinking,
Yeah, I think you still gotta go through the same drive, because I'm only gonna get one drive access, so.
on the.
Unless you buy a house off Donaldson, which we actually looked at, there was a house on Donaldson right on the curb, it was the next door house. But it sold for $180,000 on the market for 3 days, $180,000.
I know a guy will sell one back there.
What?
I know a guy will sell one back there.
Especially if it goes for that price.
That's where he lives.
I know, Elizabeth.
He's for sale.
I don't think coming in off Donaldson with a big RV or something is a good turn.
No, it's
So,
not.
you know, so the only spot that on Donaldson, in my opinion, it would work would be the one that's on the sharp curve, because they could go and they could just go straight over the property.
And that'd
So-
still be rough, but
Yeah,
you're right.
I don't see how you could mix I'm not deterring your idea, but I don't see how you could mix
No, I'm
uses,
just
because
trying
you're
to
only
figure
gonna
it
have
out.
one drive, it's this or it's that.
We need more housing here. I'm just trying to think of a way we can get
Yeah.
it.
Right, no, I get it.
So I guess from this point, what I've heard, just for clarity's sake, is that the Piper Trail, in particular, probably this look, this cabiny feel, is something that we'd be interested in. And then the route at which we choose, whether it's via variance or via zoning change to get it done, whatever we can do to get that done, then we'll route it through the proper channels.
Or a possible variance.
That's what I'm saying, either variance or zoning. If we can do it via variance, and I don't know that answer, I wish I did, I wish I wasn't so good in that area yet, but That's something I think Tim and Derek can probably provide some clarity on for me.
Well, so let's start with the residential Wilderness Creek lot.
Okay.
Greg, are you in, out? What's your thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, I agree 100% with you. I mean, we've been talking about this for years, about our older people not wanting to leave the community, and then we're kind of like clogged up, not being able to have housing for the younger people with the kids and everything they're wanting to move in. If we had a place for the shift to happen, I think that would create a heck of an economic boom for our and you don't know what else that would bring in later either, as far as, you know, economic development that way. I think that my numbers, if we could do it, I would go 75% with the 55 and older and 25% with the younger crowd, because they're gonna be the ones that are most likely eventually gonna get happy feet and wanna move here and there. The big boys for big toys, I just sent a message to my clerk treasurer about doing a tax study. And so I would like to see the tax study done on what these smaller homes are gonna actually do for the town also, because obviously we've gone through this before, you and I. You understand how we're built here.
Right.
We run off of tax base. Our tax base is just about ready to get cut. So, off of, you know, some other governmental, you know, decisions here. But, so these things are what we have to think about in the future too.
Right.
So instead of maybe $500,000 homes, I think the last time you and I talked about this, we were talking somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 3 1/4.
Yeah.
So if we can keep that there and not much lower, I'd be in favor for almost everything here until I find out also what Angela finds out about the big boy toys thing and what that kind of tax thing would do, and then, you know, what that kind of serves up for us. But I see the need for that. And it's done very tastefully. There's a couple of them up in the Angola area that look very nice. But again, I agree with keeping them to the back, or keeping them somewhere, you know, back, or maybe along one side or something. I don't know how you do that, but that's neither here nor there right now. But so yes, long and short, I'm supportive of it. As long as, and I think too, if we're talking, I think the variance is a better idea than changing, you know, I think the variance is a better idea. That's a short story. I won't take up anybody's time. If we can get it milled out, you know, I think it gives the town more control than changing it, you know, all the way around, because thinking this through for the last few days, when I seen your email, I could see some things going very bad maybe. So, and I don't want to see the town ending up on the other side of that. So, to secure things for everybody in the future, I think the variance would be a smarter idea until I'm told otherwise.
To go back, or just to talk.
Yeah.
I love townhouses. Have you guys seen townhouses? Them are, in my opinion, are more to the younger people. The garage, they got a one-car garage, and they actually do have a nicer front. Those are more the 30-year-old people, and this is more what we all consider the 55-plus community. And you guys are obviously the visionaries of leading this town and what products and what stuff mixed in. And I would be open to say that Donaldson is like a townhouse style for the youngers, and the Wilderness Creek side is the 55-plus. If we decide we don't want to do the big boy storage. You and I just come up with this yesterday on a phone call.
Right.
Right, yeah.
So I'm looking for the Wilderness Creek right now, just to see if we could get you somewhat started on that. Are you for or against the Wilderness Creek?
For, yeah, I definitely see a value for both sides, the 55 plus as well as the young business professional. We have a large medical facility right up the road that have, so.
I'm personally for for you continuing to
All right.
investigate Wilderness Creek.
And we got
Andy?
another one that's being built down in Ernst Road, so that's gonna create a lot of work too.
What is it, Greg?
I use building out on Ernst Road,
Oh, gosh.
so, I mean, that's gonna create a lot of people.
You for or against Wilderness Creek?
Yeah, love Wilderness Creek.
Right.
For,
Okay, so it looks like you got a green light on that one to at least start proceeding where you won't be spinning your wheels. I personally would not want to see a variance. I'd like to see a rezoning where we can write in with you.
Restrictions.
Yes.
I get it.
Very
I
strict.
completely get it.
And I know that, and that's the reason, so we have more control here, and just to make sure they look like that.
Right, no,
You
I
know.
get it. If I was in your guys'
I mean,
shoes,
that
I
looks
would be doing
wonderful.
The same thing.
That's what we want, so.
I think what we do is maybe Tim and David and I sit down over the next, and maybe bring you in and say, okay, hey, what does this look like? And we can even get Derek involved,
Okay.
and, you know, just see what it looks like going forward. And how hopefully we can lay out a plan. I know you got other irons in the fire right now, but if we can start moving forward in a direction, I think that'll
Okay.
keep you
Keep
moving,
the ball rolling.
and we don't fall through.
Yeah, and I mean, with us for that section at least, you know you're not spinning your wheels.
Yeah.
And I
Whether
think the
we-
big boy storage, from what I'm gathering, everybody doesn't know anything,
Right.
you know.
If we don't want it, it's fine. It's
No,
not-
we don't think we
something
know
else.
enough yet, you know what I mean? Or what does that look like?
Right.
And,
What does it generate?
yeah.
Does it
Right.
generate
So
enough
we're not for
interest?
or against, so
Alright, so
don't
we're
spend a
out.
lot of time on that one.
Okay.
So that's what I'm trying to get across, is I think,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, cool, sounds good. That it? All right.
Thank you, Justin.
Gravel Road Bridge update,
So we had a meeting this morning. Couple things are in the works. They're waiting on the light to go on at Clay Street and State Road 1. The way it sounded to me, that was supposed to be done a while ago, but there's some hardware that's missing. It's been ordered. It's supposed to be on its way. The target date on that is March 15th to be complete. Once that's complete, you can expect probably within a week or two gravel road starting. So to actually shut the bridge down. It's a 200-day project. Target's the first week of October to be done with it. So I don't know, I've heard everything under the sun on the process of it. It sounds like the actual river closure or river draining is gonna be pretty minimal out of it, and it really sounds like it's outside of our largest touristy time or largest water usage time. So as long as all that holds true, we should have a new bridge and be fully functioning by October. So,
their goal is to shut it down March 24th, is that correct, Dana? Yeah. And then mid-April through mid-May, water drop 4 foot and then back up. It all hinges on this stoplight, which is crazy. But they're missing a controller or something?
a cabinet and a controller.
Yeah,
Two things that are on back.
and it sounds like you think they're gonna start here soon with putting.
They've done all the locates, they've actually went out and GPS located the poles now, so I would look for them to start setting the hardware for that. I mean, within the next week or so.
The room was full.
Yeah,
We ran out of chairs.
yeah. A lot of interest in it, so. We did bring, the chief in, Chief Burning in today, just to hear what's going on, so he has a chance to get a plan in place. When it comes to fire service, if you get any questions that way, he is working on that.
Yeah. He's well aware. Any questions on the bridge project? It's the first time we got real answers.
so I'm assuming whoever's in control of this project, they've been communicating, obviously you had the fire department in there, they communicate with the sheriff's department too.
I wouldn't count on that. We invited the fire department.
This morning, like an hour before.
Like an hour beforehand. So I will kick it out. We have communication with them. I will kick it out and make sure that they have made the sheriff's department, at least aware.
Could be
And,
important.
yeah, kind of.
Yeah, and we can also invite Andrew
Yeah.
if he wants, because it's gonna be every other week meetings, starting,
The 25th of February.
yeah, the end of February.
I know that they were talking about bringing, East Allen County Schools was supposed to be invited, transportation. I don't know where that they didn't show up today.
There's some that didn't, they said, but, and if another councilman wants to go, by all means.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
It's at the ERI office next to
Oh.
Chicago. So-
It's gonna be at 10:30.
And they're gonna offer a Zoom link too, so.
Oh, yeah, very good point.
But
So
yes.
you don't have to drive there, you literally log on.
Yeah.
Do you
When's
work
the next one?
days?
25th of February. I got Tuesdays.
I do.
All right, Tyler?
So, I'm sure you guys have seen all the hubbub around the fireworks over the last month. So where we're at is, we've had some interest in the community at trying to revive that, at least in part. So we're in the process of trying to find a location. We think we've nailed that down. We have a vendor. So there's just a lot of details that's got to come together yet before we get there. But the backlash in the community and the request from the community is really, hey, we still want to have this. So while we know certain things were said and stated, we've done some homework in the background, and not all that stuff was 100% accurate or correctly stated. So the plan is to move it. It won't be, I mean, Riverside Gardens could possibly still be a good viewing location, or will be, probably still be a good viewing location, but is to move it to a location that is better viewed from elsewhere in the town, multiple places in the town, instead of a single location. So we're very early on in this. I don't want to say it's going to happen. I don't want to guarantee it's going to happen, but if we can continue down this route, I think it could happen and be really, really great for the town.
So we're in discovery mode, and if anybody in the audience or up here, or in our community that's got ideas to help us maybe fundraise or ideas, by all means, try to funnel everything to Tyler if we can, and keep things moving that way.
So we have some next action items, so we're gonna move in those ways, checking some stuff out, and then we have some final things that we need to get wrapped up, and then hopefully we can take donations and move that direction for it, so.
And do we have a ballpark figure on what we need to get in donations? 20 grand?
I would say 20 grand to put it tight.
Yeah, I was gonna
Probably.
say, I think we really need to be at that 25 or more,
Yeah.
if possible. So is what it affects really is gonna be the show, because, we can scale back a little bit on certain things, but,
Sure.
not.
Yeah, so ultimately it affects what the whole thing's on. So the lower the amount we raise, the less impressive the night is. I'll just put it that way. That's the best way.
Correct.
Yeah, so
So, we're looking for a donation. Hey, old buddy. Hey, old buddy.
so
See the guy to the left of you?
Already been tagged.
You guys are my good friends. Robin, don't think you're getting off. Pioneer Water can do it too.
I think we can raise it.
Yeah. All right, did anybody have a chance to look over the town manager report? Looks like a lot of it we just talked about, but
a lot of that is the non-action items, I think. Just so you guys know, the March 18th from 9 to 4 down at the Government Center, it's the Indiana Floodplain Manager course. We are required to have a floodplain manager by June 28th or something like that. So,
I think it's the 26th.
it might be, yeah.
I don't remember.
But, so we are required to have a floodplain manager here. I started taking the online course, and I quickly figured out that that's not gonna happen, because as long as you're in that office, you get maybe 10 minutes of watching a video, and then so the easiest thing is to drive down, take the course a day. It gives the certification, it puts us compliant, and then from there away, I can move on and get more and more schooling. So first one is getting us legal, and then from there away, we'll get the rest of the training I need, or I feel like I need. In reality, for our area, it's just gonna be probably a part of that networking. We don't have a large floodplain issue. If if we flood here on this side of the river, we're in trouble. The other side, maybe you guys, but even at that point, it's gonna have to come up many feet to really do some damage.
Oh, I'm in a no flood zone because of the dam.
Yeah,
Been there, seen it.
flood. So, but with that being said, I will need to be away that day. My plan is to drive down that morning. It doesn't start till 9. I can leave in the morning, drive down to Indy, come back in the evening. I think that is a council night, so I'm gonna try to be back for the council, but at 4, if I don't get out of there early, there's no way I'll be back. So,
No, it'll be fine if you don't.
Yeah.
And then is there any cost to it?
just be my mileage and whatever I eat that day. So, I mean, I can charge that to the card. If they don't feed me, I'll just charge it. There's the actual seminar's free. It's put on by the DNR, it's free.
And then, I mean, you can just take one of the trucks, can't you?
Can, yeah, if we have the solar out of it or something like that. I don't know that I'd take the Chevy, but I could probably take the white truck or
So I
something.
mean, if it works out,
Yeah.
if not.
I'll get you a bag of baby carrots.
But whatever, I'll eat it. So I'm not too worried about it. I mean,
Nope, sounds good.
it's pretty straightforward. So on your, in your group there, the Cedarville sign final draft. Watershed asked if we could approve a sign to go up at the boat launch. It's the city of Fort Wayne's property. They're asking us to approve it. I said I would put it in front of you guys tonight. Really all it says is, you know, that this is a watershed, don't dump illegal chemicals in the water, is really what it comes down to. So it's nothing crazy there. If you guys want to just look at that. And then the other piece is, so our development and planning ordinances, we had a quote from Hometown that came in for that. It was like 60,000 to have them come in, rewrite our planning ordinance and our zoning ordinances, get everything up to date, include all the new terminology, all the new definitions. With that came procedures. They would write procedures, so no matter who stepped into this office 10 years, 20 years down the road, that they could go, oh, this is what we're supposed to do first, second, third, fourth, which would be great. Through that process, and talking to Tim and David's office, David said, hey, why aren't you using the county zoning and planning ordinances? And that way Allen County would be made somewhat whole. We could still, my understanding is that we can still use our planning commission, remain in control fully, but at least the actual ordinances themselves would be the same as everybody else in the county. So for instance, and I've ran into this a couple times already, well, county doesn't require XYZ to do a project. Well, we do. In particular, if you want to add a patio, you didn't have a patio, you got to come get an ILP. Well, that's not written anywhere else in Allen County. They don't even have to get a permit because it's not attached to the foundation. It's not on a foundation. They can pour a patio within reason and get away with it. So that's one of the things that we've dealt with here in the last week. So does it make sense? Which route makes the most sense? Does it make sense for us to head down the route where we get a unified development ordinance paid for, fully customized to us? Or does it make more sense to go to the county way? And I can tell you, Greg, you sat a number of years ago, they started going down this route and they backed out real quick. I don't know the reasons why they backed out. I don't know if they were heading towards the county handling it and getting rid of the planning commission. I don't know all those details. The thought process right now, at least my thought process, is that we sit down with David, we sit down with the county planning group, and we figure out what makes sense. So with that, I would like to have at least one, maybe 2 council members to be a part of a team to look at that, figure out what's the best route to go. And it may come 2 meetings in and we're like, look, we need to go our own route. We don't see this working, right? So I don't know. I don't know that answer.
Well, to answer your question, it boiled down to the plan commission being deleted. And were you around then?
Yeah, I wasn't, I'm familiar with what happened, but I
So-
wasn't involved with it.
We were really working well with Mrs. Bowman, thank you. And she was doing a great job. She didn't care what we did. She was here to help us. They were even willing to make some exemptions for certain things that Leo-Cedarville wanted to see that they didn't want, but yet they were gonna set like asterisks on the side for Leo-Cedarville, everything, but it all boiled down to us deleting our plan commission. And we decided that we didn't want to lose that control. So that's why we didn't go with them the full way.
So my understanding is that we can adopt their code. When they make an update, they can bring that update to us, and we can adopt the updated code and still keep our plan commission. It doesn't, where it's going to save us at is that the legwork, the writing of the actual ordinances is done. Where it doesn't help us is their procedures are fully automated. So like when you put in for a development plan, it automatically routes to the right people. It does all this, you know, behind the scenes, all this happens with little to no touch. Justin, you've been here. It's literally every piece of paper that comes in through here goes through the zoning administrator, and every box has got to get checked manually, right? So, I think if we maintain the planning commission, I think we're going to still have cost associated with developing procedures that aren't automated. That we're going to have to do something to still do that.
I know we've talked about this. I would like to not see the planning commission go away and maybe grab all of Allen counties since they're done and have the people put the Leo spin on them and not rewrite it all.
Right.
You know, would that save us any money?
And I talked to Hometown about it, and they said that they would obviously need to get, and I just got them last week, but they would want to get the ordinances and review them. I think they said, you know, just in their quick review, we have, 9 maybe classifications total, 8 classifications. I think there's like 18 in the city of Fort Wayne for zoning. So it's like, well, we don't need all those, or do we need all those? I don't know. I don't know what that answer is. But like, there's going to be some of that tweaking. Do we really want to adopt all 18 different zoning classifications for us?
I don't think so. I mean, they have a lot more commercial than we do, you know, and that really will change a lot. I just would like to see them grab what is similar to ours.
Right.
It's, you know, up to date, it's current, instead of reinventing the wheel.
Right.
I think we could maybe, I would like to see it hopefully save us some money.
$60,000 feels like a heavy lift.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So to you know, to help out the council of the future, if we do investigate some of the things we talked about today, that might open up some of those 18 though. When you talk about commercial, if we would end up going into a TIF district,
Right.
starting one, or we start, you know, some type of commercial center or something, you know, we might actually want those, and then we'd be back again trying to, or unless it's something that would be added in, you know, by a stroke of a, you know.
Right.
That's fine, I guess. But I just don't want to see the added cost later on, or the burden put back on another council of what we've been trying to do for the last, 10 years here.
Well, and
It's crazy.
to be honest, we're every bit of 10 years behind.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
That's why I'm thinking about grabbing theirs, you know.
Right. It'd be a quick fix if we can amend it to what we need it, then I think it'd be a quick fix. But I think, you know, that I'm gonna send that off to, Amy and Amber and have them just investigate the city of Fort, or the Allen County ordinances. I think the next step for us is to put a committee with David, and he's on the planning commission. And I don't know if you'd come or not, Tim, I don't know.
I'm happy to. You guys probably ought to have 2 rather
That's, I said, I just want 2. I just want 2 guys. But I think the first step is investigating whether it's even the right route to grab those county and see
I
what that
agree.
looks like. And like I said, I know that David Bailey is on the plan commission. He serves on that commission in Allen County. So he's fairly knowledgeable. He's been very helpful to this point. Any questions I have. The problem I think for him is the code's just written just enough different for Leo that it kind of makes the things sometimes cumbersome.
Well, I can tell you it was painful going through that big book. And she came out here, I mean, at least a half a dozen times, maybe more, until the whole plan commission thing came up and then it got all squashed, but we were going through that book page by page by page. That was, if we don't have to do that, that would be awesome.
So if we lost the local planning commission, then would everything get submitted through planning in Fort Wayne? Would we still have the final say?
The
here on
only thing
council?
you would get say would be anything zoning, anything that requires by state code a vote by the local district. So for in particular, a rezone would require a vote here.
Yeah.
But when it comes to replats, when it comes to that kind of stuff, none of that would make it back to us.
We wouldn't have a plan commission.
So for instance, the Sour Take Bakery, the development of that, all that would be automated, right? So they'd put in that plan, it'd go down there. If it fit the general uses, then it would be automatically mailed out. Now, in talking to David, he will tell you that the plan commission really has very little authority. If you do a development that fits the criteria of the zoning location it's going into, and it is developed within that zoning code, then the planning commission has no authority to stop that development. It's really a rubber stamp. So, for instance, the only thing would be is if there's a hang up in, they didn't provide a sewer plan, or they didn't provide a water plan. But as long as all the documents are in a row, it's a lockstep deal. So, like even like Sour Take, I feel like I have a pretty tight plan there. They've checked every box that has been needed. The only thing that's hanging them up right now is the planning commission. I don't know even legally if they would be required to do the replat, and you can't have a development over 2 different parcels of land because of taxing issues. So that would be the only real hang up in that development. So, which would have triggered a replat for them. They'd have known, no, you gotta pay this fee. And to my understanding, at the county and city level, that's the stroke of the zoning administrator's pen. That replat would have been done and never had to hit the planning commission desk. So, it's an administrative function down there. Here, we don't allow, the planning commission can give that authority to the zoning administrator. It hasn't been done to my knowledge.
All right. Do 2 council people want to jump on that with Tyler?
What would it entail? Meetings after hours, during work hours?
We can schedule wherever we need to.
If I can do it after 4,
I would prefer that like 4 o'clock time frame.
Yeah.
You know, if at all possible, I don't want to get into that 6, 7 o'clock because again, we're going to have the county involved in it at some point,
Yeah.
and they're going to need to send hourly people up here, and I'm sure they're not going to want them to be out till 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
So my assumption would be like a 4 to 5 or 4 to 5:30 kind of range at the earliest or at the latest. So, and I'm happy to get a planning commissioner member or 2 on it too. I don't think there's,
I
as
think
long as
that'd
they're
be
not
smart.
Yeah, as long as they're not council members, then yes, they can sit on it too.
I'm available, but I don't have to be on everything.
So,
Brian, Rob, Greg, if not, I'll jump on, but by all means, I don't need to be.
Well, I was kind of hoping one of these 2 would jump on.
I agree with you.
What's the,
Well,
are you going like once a month meeting?
so the frequency would be obviously set up by us here. I would like to see at least the initial be probably pretty aggressive. I would say probably 2 or 3 times initially. And then we just need to figure out if this is the route we want to go. And I think after 1 or 2 meetings in a month, we should have that nailed down. And then from there away, the question becomes, do we walk through it step by step like you guys did? Or do we, and that may be able to be emailed now. Hey, we're going to go through in the next month, we need to go make it through these next 7 ordinances and figure out exactly what we want as a town in there and don't want in there. So I don't know exactly what this looks like. I would like to say that we need a UDO yesterday. Like we need a lot of things. So my aggression would be quick.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really what you guys have available.
Okay.
So 2 or 3 meetings, quick, fast, and
Yeah.
then if it's the route, you
Then
guys
it'll
decide.
kind of slow up a little bit and we'll have to explore.
Sign me up.
Okay.
There we go, we got 2.
And you guys are thinking like 4 to 5:30, 4 to 5 would be best for you guys? Okay.
Or later, it doesn't matter, just
Yeah.
before 4 stuff.
I think initially we'll be back, I think when David can come in, but if we get to the point where we need to start bringing county officials in, then we may have to look at that 4 o'clock time frame.
Yeah.
If it's David coming up, I'm sure we can get that at 5 o'clock or whatever, and make it easier.
Cool.
Did you guys have a chance to look at that sign for the watershed?
Looks very informative,
Yeah. Very nice, isn't it?
very nice.
So,
Like the crappie,
Nice.
good looking crappie, little small.
It's also the river.
yeah. Well, Scott's finished now. I'll talk about the last one. Notice the sewer construction. So during the trail project, you guys will remember that we put a sewer, small section of sewer in underneath the trail already. They sent us notice of sewer construction that they are heading out Hostler. We knew it last year. This is just, if you guys have any questions, I wanted you guys to have the document. You can get any questions to me and we'll follow up from it. Otherwise, we don't have to do anything. I just wanted it in front of you. So,
How much the sidewalks can get tore up?
should be none.
That's nice.
That's the hope.
That's nice.
I agree.
Now that I said that, probably the entire length. No, it should be none. I mean, in reality, it should be none. That's why they did that little stub out for the school and all that already.
Right.
So,
Is there any questions for Tyler on his town manager report?
we just need a watershed signage.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Anybody against I think we just need a consensus. 'cause
Yeah,
it's not
I mean,
ours.
it's not even our property. It's just a nod of the head.
Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We own the
we're
property,
good.
right?
Yep.
I didn't want to make a unilateral
No,
decision.
no, you're
about
right.
it.
We just need to at least go around. Anything else for Tyler? Questions, concerns? Anything for Brian? Look at Brian out there, our new maintenance guy. Thanks for being here, Brian. We do appreciate it.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah. Looks like Park Board, February 10th, Planning Commission, February 11th. Angie, did you get that posted?
What, all the hearings?
For if more than 2 show up to that? Thank you.
It has been,
There's one of
Oh.
the 5 hanging right there.
Thank you.
and it has been submitted to the journal, so it's been incurred.
Yeah, it's
And
all-
Stormwater, the 12th at 7:30. Anything else from the public out there? Nothing? Anything else from the councilman?
I won't be present I won't be in state on the February 11th meeting. Just FYI.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yep.
Rob, you got anything?
No, was it the 11th? Was
Yes, sir.
for
That's the planning
Oh, the plan,
commission.
okay, yeah, that's right. Nope,
Envision plan.
nothing.
Andy? Brian?
So Greg's not gonna be here on the 11th? Okay. that's
Thank
all I
you.
got.
Angie? Meeting adjourned. Thanks for everyone coming.